Hey guys, Dan here from Your Guitar Academy and welcome back to our minor unlocking the CAGED system, okay? And what we're going to be doing in this lesson is we're going to be carrying on from where we left off. We have the chord, we have the arpeggio, and now we're going to be layering up the pentatonic scale and the full diatonic scale. So at the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to, over the top of that single chord, play both the minor pentatonic, the minor scale, and the minor arpeggio, giving you all of these cool ideas. So pick up your guitar and let's get started. Hey there guys, if you've just joined us, then don't forget that you can get all the write-ups, the tab, the fretboard diagrams and everything else over on the website absolutely free, and the link will be below in the description. If you're watching us here on YouTube absolutely free, then please do like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment. We do our absolute best to get back to every single question that you guys have about the course. Okay guys, so let's dive straight into this and we start where we left off. So we've got the chord, and we've got the arpeggio, and you should be able to tell me where the root, where the flat third, and where the fifth are in the arpeggio and in the chord. Okay, that's absolutely crucial. So if you can't do that first. Now, next up, we're going to bring in the minor pentatonic. So this is really cool because the minor pentatonic is really close to that minor arpeggio. The minor arpeggio is root, flat third, fifth. And for the minor arpeggio, we're just going to simply add to that. We're going to add the fourth and the flat seven. Okay, by adding those two extra notes, we create our minor pentatonic scale. And for those of you that know the shapes, because if you have tackled that major CAGED chord course, you're going to know all the shapes. And one of the most common questions I get is, okay, I know all the shapes for my major pentatonics, what about for my minor pentatonics? Or vice versa. You know, I know all my minor pentatonic shapes, but what about for major pentatonic? And actually, it's the same shapes. The boxes are just boxes, okay? It's just a box, okay? And in this instance, we're going to use box one. Okay, I'll go through that in a second, a bit slower. But box one is just box one. We know that already. You've got that shape, and we would have applied it to a certain major CAGED chord, okay? It's when you actually do the application part of it. So when you put it in a key, that's when it becomes major pentatonic or minor pentatonic or Dorian pentatonic or whatever you want to do with that. But essentially, the box is just a box, okay? It's just an irrelevant set of notes until you make some kind of application of it. So in this instance, when you're dealing with minor, the simple fact that you can just kind of rely on is that anytime you play this chord, this E shape minor CAGED chord, you can play your minor pentatonic or your pentatonic box one, and it becomes minor. Okay, and so we can really hear that. If I just put a quick loop on here, and I'll just literally loop a minor chord. Okay, so see, it really applies minor. The minor in the background is making this feel minor, okay? Okay, so let me just stop that. So there we have it. So that's the pentatonic that's going to be over it. And if you've never done that one, if you haven't for some reason done the major CAGED course, that's crazy talk, and you're going to need that. But the minor pentatonic shape, just to do it slowly for you guys who haven't seen it, I'll do this once because I don't want to frustrate the people who have done this shape, of course, is simply this. And let's do it in terms of intervals. So we've got root, flat third, fourth, so that's one of the notes we've added, fifth, flat seven, root, so the flat seven we've added as well, and then root. Then we've got the flat third, fourth, fifth, flat seven, root, and flat third, okay? And if I did it slowly on the way back, okay? Remember, if you really are unsure of any of the shapes, then you can get it over at the website, or if you've gone ahead and downloaded the course, then first of all, thank you for your support, and secondly, you get it all in your workbook. Okay, so there we have it. There is the pentatonic box, and that's the one we're going to be putting over the top of that chord. Now, as well as that, we're also going to add the minor scale, so the full diatonic minor scale, the A minor scale. And of course, all we're doing here, again, if you've already done the major CAGED course, then you'll know this combo already. That's the beauty of this, okay? You're only learning one real new thing here, okay? We're just really getting our heads around applying it to minor. So if you've already done the major, then you'll know that when I have the pentatonic shape 1 box, I just add 2 more notes and it becomes the full scale. And it's exactly the same here, we're just applying it to minor instead, okay? So we've got the root, flat third, fourth, fifth, and flat 7 for the minor pentatonic. Now we need to add in the flat 6 and the 2nd degree. All things said and done, it looks like this. So let's just go through the look of it first. So there we have it, there's the shape. Let me just kind of walk you through that in terms of the degrees of the scale. So you get root, 2nd, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 6, that's a new one, flat 7, root, flat 2nd, so that's the 2nd, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 6, flat 7, root, 2nd, flat 3rd. Okay, and in terms of the fingers that I'm using, okay, I'm generally keeping 1 finger per fret, apart from when I do this little shift. So when I go there, I'm going to use my little finger on the 7th fret of the D string so that I can bring my first finger back to the 4th fret of the G string. So I go slightly out of position. And then from that little finger there, I'm going to bring my first finger back across and come back into position. Okay, so nice and slowly, all the way through. And you can hear, as you go through this, now that we've got a full scale, we're hearing every single degree of it. And it does sound a bit darker. Okay, let's have a little look. So there's our scale. So now, you know, what I'm hoping some of you guys are just having right at this point is a little bit of a light bulb moment where you're thinking, okay, and I'm only referring to you guys that have taken the major CAGED chord course here, because if you've done that and you really need to do that first before doing this, this is going to be so easy compared to when you first learned that major CAGED chord course, okay? And hopefully you guys are having this light bulb moment where you're thinking, wait a second, that shape and that shape, they went together in that previous course as well. Because they're exactly the same, they're just boxes, they're just a shape, okay? Especially when you're dealing with scales, you often deal with the shape, and then once you've got the shape, you just need to learn how to apply it properly. So that's what's happening here. We're just now applying it to minor. Previously, if we'd have done A major, we'd have done it and applied it to the A major CAGED chord. But it's the same shape. Oh, same shape, okay, but we just applied it to major. Now we're doing it to minor. So, hopefully if you've got that understood, let's just have a little listen quickly here to the difference in the sound, okay, between the pentatonic, the arpeggio, and the full scale. So if I go back to my little loop, okay, and we just get that moving, just kind of got that kind of loopy vibe. We'll do the pentatonic first. So that gives us that kind of like bluesy rock. You know, that kind of vibe, right? We all know that kind of sound, okay? When you bring in that full scale, you get slightly more of a melodic feel, potentially a darker sound. If you really pay attention and target the notes that were not in the pentatonic, so for example, targeting the 2nd degree or the flat 6th degree, that's when you bring out that darker, more minor sound. right? Really, if you do that, it makes a big difference. If you then play a pentatonic lick into a minor, okay, makes a massive difference. Then you've now got your arpeggio. Know that the arpeggio is really useful for little runs like that, quick runs if you wanted to, but more so targeting the key tones of the chord. So that flat third, that root, that fifth. When you're moving to a chord, that's going to be hugely important. So I might initially target that flat third. Then I might hit a pentatonic lick. Then I might do a little bit more of a minor-y. And as you do that more and more, you're really getting to the point where you're starting to have fun improvising with these sounds. So your task now is to kind of play around with that. Make sure you've got the 4 elements. You've got your chord, you've got your arpeggio, you've got your pentatonic, and you've got your full scale. There it is. So all of those, have a little bit of fun. If you've got a looper and you can just stick on an A minor chord, then that's great. If not, then just have a little bit of fun with it anyway. Potentially you've got you can find a backing track that just has an A minor looped, but I'd highly recommend getting a looper. It's going to be so worthwhile in the long run. And have a bit of fun with that before the next lesson. Okay guys, so that's it for this lesson. Now, if you want to see the next lesson along in the series, then click the big old box that will pop up here. And if you want to start from the beginning of the playlist here on YouTube, click the box here. Also, please do remember to like the video, subscribe to our channel for all of these wonderful courses, as well as leave us a comment. We really do our best to get back to every single question that you guys have about the course. I'll see you next time.